Hello, today we're going to see how to remotely trigger a sound from Auto by leveraging the powerful Auto Action Markers and the OSC protocol. We'll be using Auto on a PC, and the other machine will be a Mac running QLab, a well-known show control software. If you're not familiar with QLab but want to trigger sounds, lights, or even videos using the OSC protocol, stick around. The process is pretty much the same with any other software. So in QLab, as you can see, I've already loaded two different sounds. To communicate between QLab on Mac and Auto on the PC, I first need to know its IP address and the network port where to send the information. All this information is available in QLab under Workspace Settings, then Network, and finally, OSC Access. Here, I can see the IP address of the device running QLab, and the ports QLab is listening on. We'll use the second port, labeled Plain Text Listening. Now back to Auto, go into the options by clicking on the small gear icon and then Network tab. Once in Network, you'll see a little button labeled Add Custom Action Server. Let's add one. I can choose between two protocols, the HTTP protocol, which we'll cover in a second video, and the OSC protocol. So I'll enter 53535 in the port field, and then use the IP address we noted earlier in QLab. Now let's give this new marker a name in the group field. You can name it whatever you want, but to keep it simple, I'll just call it QLab. Okay, now things are going to get a bit tricky. We need to refer to the QLab documentation to understand which OSC commands QLab expects to trigger a sound. We can see that QLab responds to /Q/X between curly braces. Those curly braces are a placeholder for the actual sound name in QLab. Note that this only arms the sound. To actually play it, you need to finish by /start. So in Auto, I'll enter the exact same thing. I'll just replace the QLab placeholder syntax by the Auto syntax. In QLab, the placeholder syntax is X between curly braces, and in Auto it's command between double curly braces. So /Q/X between curly braces just becomes /Q/command between two pairs of curly braces. It sounds complicated, but you'll see it's actually very simple. Let's save this, and now let's create our first marker. Select a word and press Ctrl-M on PC or Command-M on Mac. Let's rename the marker using the action marker /command syntax. I'll enter /QLab, which is the name of the command group I just created, followed by a colon, followed by the QLab sound ID. This sound ID is what actually replaces the placeholder between the curly braces. In QLab, I named the sound 1 and 2, so if I just want to play sound number 1, I'll simply enter 1. Let's test this right away. Right-click to test and choose Trigger Marker. And it works perfectly. Now if I rename the marker to /QLab:2, well, it works just as good. Now let's try with two markers in prompting mode. In this mode, when the Q indicator passes over these markers, Auto will trigger the corresponding sound in QLab. Okay, there we go. And it works. That's how you can control sound or lights with the simplicity of Auto's action markers.